First, you want to lay your marshmallows out in your cooking pan. Then you want to spray it with some granola spray so that they will not stick. Then you want to turn them over and spray them again. Okay, I have turned all my marshmallows over, and I'm going to spray them again. Get them good oil here. Now you can either use 2 pans, or you can take the marshmallows out and put them in a bowl after you have oiled them up. But I have 2 pans, so now I'm going to spray my other pan, the bottom of it. Get it good and oily. And then after that, I'm going to put my Fruit Loops on the bottom. Okay, you're going to make some Fruit Loops, marshmallows, some granola spray, some imitation vanilla flavor or some real vanilla flavor, some ground cinnamon, some powdered sugar, and some unsalted butter to make these Fruit Loops marshmallow squares. Now you want to pour 1 cup of water into a saucepan, and then we're going to put some powdered sugar, some cinnamon, and some butter and vanilla flavor in with the water, and let it cook a little bit. Okay, you want to add 2 tablespoons of powdered sugar, 1 tablespoon of cinnamon, 1 teaspoon of vanilla flavor, and 3 tablespoons of butter to the water, and you want to stir it up. If you want it sweeter, you can add more sugar. If you want it more buttery, you can add more butter. But I don't want mine too sweet because remember the marshmallows are sweet too. So that's why we don't want to put too much powdered sugar in it. Stir it up, heat it up a little bit, just enough to melt the butter. I haven't added the butter yet because you're going to add the butter once you get the water and the powdered sugar and the cinnamon hot. Then you're going to add the butter last and just let the butter like melt. So we'll let that get hot and then we'll add the butter and let the butter melt. And we're going to cut it off when we add the butter. Okay, now I'm going to add my 3 tablespoons of butter. 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to just let that melt slowly in with the sugar and the cinnamon. For some reason I keep thinking that I got brown sugar because it's brown, but it's powdered sugar, not brown sugar. And let that melt slowly. And I got my oven preheating to 350 while I'm getting this ready. Now remember, if you want it sweeter, you can add more powdered sugar to it. Okay, my butter have melted, so now I'm going to pour this over my Fruit Loops. Pour that over the Fruit Loops. Let it soak in a little bit. Get them a little soggy. Let them absorb the liquid. Now I'm going to start placing my marshmallows on top of my Fruit Loops. You can lay them down if you want to. And you can lay them down like this. Make sure they have a little room. Move around. Because they're going to melt. This is delicious, you all. Very, very good. Now that I have it all laid out, I'm going to put it in the oven and let it bake at 350. I have it in the oven, and now I'm going to let it bake at 350 until the marshmallows start to brown a little bit, just slightly. See how the marshmallows are turning lightly brown? We're going to let them cook a little bit longer because we want them a little bit browner than that. Now the marshmallows have melted down into the Fruit Loops. Now we wait for them to cool off so we can cut them into bars. Now while it's still warm, you lay the same amount of marshmallows on top that you had at first. Like I had 21 marshmallows, so I put 21 more marshmallows on top. And then you spoon it in and turn it over and let it sort of like settle in so that it can get real gooey and sticky. Now you let it cool off, because I don't want to put it in the refrigerator because it's still too hot. Let it cool off and let that marshmallows melt down a little bit, and it'll be ready to cut. Now I'm going to make Frosted Flakes marshmallow squares. You will need some Frosted Flakes, either the original kind or some generic kind like I have. Some butter spray or real butter, some marshmallows, some powdered sugar. I put my powdered sugar in here so I can sprinkle it on top, and some granola oil. First we're going to spray pan with some granola oil. You want to get it good and spray because we're going to put the marshmallows in first this time. Now after we spray the bottom of our pan and lay our marshmallows in, then we're going to spray it with some butter spray. And we're going to be preheating our oven. Make sure you get a lot of that butter spray in there. Now after we get it nice and sauteed with the butter spray, we're going to spray a little granola oil on top of the butter spray. You have to keep the butter from burning. Okay, now we preheat our oven to 350, and we're going to put it in and let the marshmallows melt first. Then we're going to add our Frosted Flakes. Okay, I have put my marshmallows in the oven and I'm going to let them melt some, and now I'm going to get my Frosted Flakes and start crunching them up a little bit so I can add them to my marshmallows once they melt. Now I pour some Frosted Flakes into this bowl, and then I take this big old coffee mug, soup mug, and I crunch it up like this here. Some crunched up is fine, and then if that's not enough, just put some more in this whole. I don't have as much Frosted Flakes as I thought I did, so we'll see how it comes out. Now when it rises up and start bubbling like this, you would like to cut the oven off and just let it set in the oven, because it's going to turn into like a liquid. So you do not want to cook it any longer. You want to cut the oven off, leave the oven door open so that it will not overcook. Now I have taken it out of the oven and set it on top of the stove. You see how it's turned into a liquid? Now I'm going to take my Frosted Flakes and I shake it over into it. I'm going to pat it down in there. To see if I need more Frosted Flakes, or if this here is crunchy enough. I think this here is enough. Let's see, once it starts to get down in there, if it's enough. I think that's filling it up pretty good there. Okay, I don't think I need any more. Let me get it away from the side a little bit. Yeah, I think I measured out just right. Okay, I think that is enough. Okay, now we'll let that cool off. We're going to sprinkle a little powdered sugar on top while it's still hot. I put my sugar, a pile of sugar in an old seasoning bottle with some big holes in it so that, see, so that it can sprinkle out easy. That's how I save that. Press that down a little bit. Sure my sugar get up in there. Okay, now when it cools off, we will cut it into squares. The kids are going to love this. And if you like, you can add peanuts and chocolate or raisins to it. You can fix it up any kind of way you would like to fix it up. You don't have to just keep it plain like this. You can make it into a totally different dish. Okay, here go the finished product. This one here is like soft and chewy with a little crunch. This one here is soft and gooey. It's hard to explain, but they are very, very good. And this is the way that they look on the plate. Okay, here we go. This one here is like soft and gooey and chewy with a little crunch. This one here is like just soft and gooey. It's hard to explain how it tastes. You will have to make it and taste it for yourself so that you would know what I'm talking about. And this is how they look on the plate after I had took them out. And now I'm going to serve them and we're going to eat. Thank you for watching. Bye.